Good morning, America, and welcome to our show, Business Ethics, on Channel 240. My name is Chisu, and this is my co-host, Nathan.
Good morning to all you sports fanatics. Today's topic is all about the money. So have you been hearing the buzz on how much professional athletes get paid?
Yeah, it's been an outrageous fight for money. For example, Kobe Bryant is making $23 million this year, not including his $10 million in endorsements. Or even Derek Jeter, who is banking $31 million this year, both endorsements and salaries.
Gee whiz, that's like 100 times of what I make.
It seems like sports organizations spoil their athletes. Don't you think we should decrease their amount that the athletes get paid?
Spoil? Why do you say that?
It's fine for a company to endorse an athlete, but for a sports organization to pay huge salaries is just ridiculous.
You're ridiculous. How could you say such a thing?
You don't agree with me?
No, not at all.
I think the players should be paid based on their position and economic importance. However, I feel teaching is one of the most economically important occupations because our future economy relies on the education of its youth. Yet teachers are paid much more less than the average professional athlete.
That might be true, but I'm still a little optimistic.
Obviously, what individuals are not aware of is the most important man in our nation, the president, who makes critical decisions that affect the entire world every day, only making $400,000 a year. While President Obama is hard at work reviving the economy, the unproven rookie at the MLB is earning way over that figure.
Well, I wouldn't think about it that way. I believe even though athletes may be paid more, the sports industry is a business, not a government position.
Sports is a business, but I believe there should be a cap on athletes' salary.
No. That's too much regulation. Many people believe athletes are being paid for little work, but in fact they work harder than anyone else.
Don't they play only a few months a year?
Not only do they work during their particular season, but they also work in the off-season.
Do they really?
Yes, professional athletes train on their own, striving to become better. They also attend miniature camps and their seasonal training camps throughout the year. These athletes work year-round for their higher salaries, and I do believe they deserve them.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Well, that's 1 point for me. The score is now 1-0.
Okay, fine. Do you want to play hardball?
It's on. Game.
I also understand that it might be hard to get to the pros, but don't you think these professional athletes should become better role models?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, then what about Alex Rodriguez, who earns the same amount of money as it would to feed the nation's poor for a year? He can't cheat and take steroids. From this, I assume that what kids learn from successful baseball players like him is that it's okay to use illegal substances because in the long run, it'll pay off by earning me an enormous contract.
Let's think about the situation in ethics of purpose approach. The purpose of the player is to provide entertainment. We need reliable athletes to fulfill this. Therefore, high-salary athletes are required to achieve the goal of entertainment.
Not only should we reflect upon what the player's salary should be, but also who the players are as good role models.
Perhaps you're right. They need to become better role models.
Yes, 1 point for me, and now the score is tied at 1.
Don't have such a big head. Do you think it's easy to make it to the pros?
I don't think it's the hardest thing to do, honestly, because 4 million people have already made it big in some kind of professional sport.
Well, making it into the pros isn't an easy thing to do. It takes tremendous number of hours of hard work and dedication every day to earn a job in professional sports. These athletes sometimes go through life-threatening injuries for the love of the game. Considering this, one might think that these athletes do it for the love of the game, not for the money. Assuming the odds are higher for someone to become a brain surgeon than an NBA player, isn't it more logical that the professional athlete get paid more than a brain surgeon?
Oh my, that is a good point.
What can I say? 1 point for me.
Moving on. Have you been to the recent World Series game where the Giants became world champions? The ticket prices shot up as soon as they won their first game.
Everyone loves the Giants. I feel it is right to hike up the prices because more people in the Bay Area are willing to watch their home team.
Right. I thought it was ridiculous how expensive the tickets were. Maybe we can apply the ethics of consequence by considering that the richer the athlete, the more people will pay to see their games.
When looking at the consequences of high-paid athletes, the positive results are much higher than the negative.
How so?
The positive consequences result in spending from both the consumer and the wealthy athlete, therefore building a stronger economy because of the increase in spending and higher tax received by the government. The negative consequence might be that not everyone can afford to attend these games. At the same time, we live in a capitalist society where regulations cannot affect businesses.
That is a good point. But I still think that athletes should not be paid so high. Perhaps our argument should be directed with the ethics of principle.
Yes, your argument seems closer to that approach. If we could put a regulation on athletes' salaries, it could result as a universal law.
A proposal that allows all athletes should be paid the same would be quite hard to universalize. However, if the implicit principle was that athletes should remain being paid the same, then I suppose it could be universalized.
Our decision towards the salary depends more on the implementation rather than the decision itself.
Finally, I believe that the three ethical approaches support the athletes' salaries to remain as is. The ethics' purpose shows that athletes are required to achieve the goal of entertainment. The ethics of consequence helps to build a stronger economy with the athletes spending more money as they gain. And the ethics of principle seems to support the issue that they should remain being paid the same due to the difficulty in being universalized. Do you agree, Nathan?
I agree that athletes are not economically important as other occupations that are necessary in the world today.
I also agree with you that it takes a lot of work to become a pro athlete. They work all year long, and it involves injuries and hardships.
People enjoy athletes, so I suggest we modify our proposals.
I agree. How about athletes should not be paid as much because they are not that much economic importance unless they are willing to become better role models in our society.
I thank you for including some of my concerns. What about modifying my proposal? Athletes should be paid the same because they are big contributions to our capitalist society, unless we discover that it hurts society as a whole.
I agree with your proposal. However, I feel that it is too sudden to be making a move right now.
Maybe someone should observe how being ridiculously paid affects the athletes and their decisions, positively or negatively towards the society.
Cool. Well, that's all the time we have for today.
Tune in next time for a debate against North and South Korea on Business Ethics Channel.
See you next time.